Amazon FBA is a dead business model if you do this. What's up guys, I'm Isom, and in this video, you're gonna learn why Amazon FBA is a terrible business model if you do these things. We're gonna talk about what you should not be doing, what other people are teaching all over YouTube, all over Instagram, that is going to cause you to fail. Find out in this video. I think the biggest thing holding people back from starting their own business, and I'm not even talking just Amazon right now, I'm talking anything, like starting an Instagram account about fishing, or starting a blog, or starting digital courses, or selling a service. The biggest fear that everyone has is that it's too saturated. Restaurants, oh, I have a dream, I want to open a burger joint. But there's way too many burger businesses already. There's way too many restaurants in my hometown. My restaurant would never succeed. Or I want to be a life coach. I want to be a fitness coach. There's way too many fitness coaches all over Instagram. Everyone's talking about fitness. How am I going to be successful? I want to sell stuff online. I can't sell stuff online. There's way too many people selling stuff online. I can't sell on Amazon. Amazon's way too saturated. It's like the biggest amount of BS that floats around the internet. I will say this though, quite frankly, I'm very glad that a lot of people out there have that doubt. I really am. I'm glad. Because if everyone was as fearless as I am, fearless as you are listening, then everyone would be selling stuff online. And then yes, it probably would be saturated. But here's the bottom line. It's really not that saturated, number one. And number two, if you're good enough, nothing is saturated. Nothing. Nothing is too saturated if you are good enough. I want to talk in this episode about Amazon being dead. Amazon is dead, guys. I hate to break it to you. 2021 is coming upon us. You are too late. You are better off hanging up the phone, taking out your headphones, going back to your day job, sitting in your cubicle for the next 30 years, collecting your paycheck. Hopefully you have enough for retirement, and maybe you can have fun when you're 65. Amazon is dead. It's too saturated. That's what your brain is telling you. That's literally what your brain is telling you every single day, because the whole fact that you're watching this or listening to this means that you want to start a business. If you weren't listening to this, then yes, you probably are sitting in your cubicle or driving to your job and just happy with, the way things are. And that's totally cool. Some people are. But because you're listening to this, I know that deep within your soul, you want something better for yourself. You want a better life. You're just scared. You are scared to make it happen because your brain is telling you it's too saturated. Here's the thing though. Like I said, it is. Amazon is dead. It's too saturated. Now, Andy, you're just rambling. You're not making any sense. Let me show you right here on the screen. If you're listening at home on the podcast, I'll walk you through it. Amazon is dead if you're like this. Okay? Here's just an example of a product. This is a emergency toolkit. It's a safety hammer, emergency escape tool with car window breaker, seat belt cutter, life-saving survival kit. But my point of showing you this product is there are literally dozens of these things, and they all look exactly the same. Like literally, they're all selling the exact same thing. Well, now we're getting into like all sorts of weird other random stuff on the page that I'm scrolling, but you'll see a lot of these orange ones, and a lot of this stuff is like the same thing. Different brands, same thing. I've seen at least 4 brands already, 5, 6. I'm looking at the names here. 7. I think I'm seeing 8 brands so far that are all different, literally selling the exact same thing to a T, like even the same colors. Amazon is dead, guys, if you have no creativity. If your goal is just to go out there, find stuff like this and sell exactly what everyone else is selling, hoping that you can get a piece of that pie, hoping that you can get up enough of reviews to compete with these guys, iPal with 1,000 reviews, Vic T. Singh with 6,700 reviews, hoping one day you can get that many reviews and then compete with them. Because here's the thing, like you look at these numbers and people get so googly eyed. Like Vic T. Singh sells 431 of these bad boys a day. Monthly revenue, $167,000 a month. Not gonna lie, that's pretty dang dope. It's $12.99, so their profit margins are probably pretty low. So don't get too hyped about that $167,000. But people lack creativity. People think that they're going to come to Amazon and just sell generic stuff like this, or just basically sell whatever is already out there and slap their brand name on it and think it's going to work. They're going to be severely disappointed. Unfortunately, a lot of other people teach this strategy, and unfortunately, it does work for some people. I say unfortunately because the small percentage or the few of people that do end up finding success with it for whatever reason, whether they have a huge budget or who knows what, there's a ton of people who don't find success with it. And then they're like, Amazon's dead. Amazon doesn't work. Yes, it is dead because you didn't have a strategy. You had no differentiation. You had no like product development. You had no branding. You literally just slapped some stupid brand name on something and tried to sell it and was wondering why it wasn't selling. I had someone reach out to me one time about a product, and this person messaged me and said, hey, I really need help with my product. It's not selling very well. I said, okay, great. What's your product? They send it to me. First of all, I was like, okay, you're selling the most generic copycat product that everyone and their dog is trying to sell. That's your first issue. Second problem, I look at the product photos. They're copied from Alibaba, which is something that I kind of mentioned in the other episode. But the third problem was like, I look at the brand name and it was like the dumbest brand name I've ever heard, had nothing to do with the product he was selling. And I said, how'd you come up with your brand name? And he said, oh, it's just the brand name that was on Alibaba. Like Ching Pao or iPow or whatever it was on Alibaba, he just used that as the brand name. I'm like, that's not even private label. At that point, you're drop shipping. If you're going to do that, if you're going to be that lazy, you might as well be doing drop shipping. The whole benefit of private label is the fact that you can privately create your own brand. Like you can put your own logo on it. You get to come up with it. Copying Alibaba's listing and their brand name and calling it private label is not private label. It's the dumbest form of drop shipping that I've ever heard of. Or the laziest form of drop shipping that I've ever heard of, I guess. I don't know. It just baffles me. If you want to be successful starting your own brand, please take the time to think about how you're going to be different than what's already out there. And you don't have to be a brand new, different, never before seen product. Think Stance socks. I've been preaching Stance socks lately. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because I just bought a crap ton of Stance socks for Christmas. But Stance socks sells exactly what thousands of other people have been selling for years and years and years. Socks. It's not a new concept. It's not a new concept. They're selling socks. Nike and hundreds of other brands were selling socks long before Stance ever came around. How come they were able to be successful? Because they had a new concept, new designs, printing bizarre designs that had never been seen. They had a personality behind it, different types of quality of socks. You know, they had a differentiation other than like, we're going to sell plain white socks, but we're going to sell them cheaper than Nike does. Like, no, that's not a strategy. So if you want to sell online, if you want to sell a product, if you want to start a brand, you don't need to come up with a groundbreaking, never before seen product, but you do need to develop your product and make it unique. You do need to spend the time to actually think, how am I going to be different? Selling the same emergency seatbelt cutter, car window breaker thing that everyone else is selling is probably going to be very, very difficult to find success with if there's any sort of competition at all. So take the time, develop your product, think about how you can make your stuff different, better, different designs, different quality, all that kind of good stuff. If you like this video, guys, do me a huge favor, hit the thumbs up button for me. It helps my videos get out there and find more people that are looking to start their own business on Amazon. I would really, really appreciate it. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll do my best to get back to you. Check out the links below this video for some sweet deals and some more resources for you. I'm Andy Isom. We'll see you in the next video.